I'm thinking of getting, like, if I ever do build a new PC either this year or the next year, whenever we have the money to do so, I'm still thinking about getting like maybe a 3070 or something like that instead of the 400s. I mean 4000s. Or we're just gonna wait until whatever GeForce shows this year. Because they're gonna have a new series either this year or next year. I mean, here's the thing, like, if you build your own PC, nothing will ever compare to the graphic fidelity and the performance of that built PC. Like, no consoles can ever compare to those, but you have to build it properly, and you got to make sure it's, like, done with extra thought. It takes some planning building a PC, but when you do build your PC, like this PC that I built way back when I did build it, like, yeah, the consoles during that time, like, I think this, like, technically this PC is still a little bit stronger than, like, Xbox Series X and PS5s. Like, because it's the processor that I put it in. But sadly, when it comes to all the other components, it's a little too old to where it starts to buckle a little bit. So the age of the PC is the problem. It's not the actual components of it, it's the age of it. Sadly, I need to replace my PC. So that's the one thing about PCs, is that if you want them to keep flowing properly and to keep doing really good performance, you have to change parts interchangeably over time. What's my GPU? My graphics card and all that? That's sad. Sadly, it's a GTX 980. But I overclocked it and everything, so it's still able to run all current games, surprisingly enough. It won't run it on the highest things, but it will still do the graphics comparison of a PS5. It's the processor that does the extra work. Yeah, 980. You wouldn't think a 980 would be good, but it's my processor that's in my thing. It's like does about 4.8 gigahertz, so it's just enough to run games like PS5 games. So it's like, surprisingly, I can still run games like that. It just gets a little hot. It just gets a little hot. Okay, is there anything else in the Goron City I need to do? Because I need to get to the Rito village. Or not Rito. I need to get to the Zora. Oh, no, I'm not doing 4K at 120. I'm just doing, like, what most people can see, like, like, when it comes to streaming and all that, streams on at least Twitch don't go above 1080. So I'm thinking 1080, solid 60 frames per second. That's where my actual benchmark is when it comes to comparing, like, how systems run. Now, off stream, of course, like, if I'm trying to play on a 4K TV at least 60 frames per second, then yeah, the PS5 will definitely outperform my PC. But when it comes to actual stream and everything like that, when it comes to those benchmarks, that's when, the PS5 sadly can actually compare to the PC. At least my current PC right now. But here's the thing, if I updated my PC and I started replacing it with even the last generation stuff, oh yeah. I can just, like, get a slightly upgraded CPU with a probably last year's, like, graphics card, and there you go. And of course, like, 32 gigabytes of RAM. solid state drives for the hard drives themselves. 2 of them, not 1, 2 of them, and they both have to be at least 4 terabytes worth minimum. And there you go. It's an expensive PC, but it'll outperform any console for at least the next like 10 years. Well, maybe not 10 years. 5 years. 10 years is a little overestimating. 10 years is way overestimating. Let's see. All right, let's go to main stuff. I need to do... Yep, I got 2 more. So, I need to fast travel. Technically, we didn't explore these roads. So, I need to fast travel here and just go on horseback. Just kind of travel to the Zora domain. Do it organically, as much as I can. And not to diss like PS5's like actual like internal hardware and everything like that, but I've played games on everything, and nothing ever compares to the PC. Like, you can't outpower a gaming PC. It's impossible. Because they're always like their actual hardware for gaming, like if you build gaming PCs, will always be ahead. Because when the PS5 comes out, or even when the PS5 Pro comes out, there's a graphics card that already beats it by like a generation or 2. Not to mention you can overclock that motherfucker. You can get even more out of that graphics card if you wanted to. That's what's really cool about gaming PCs. You can make it as powerful as you want or as weak as you want, depending on how much money you have. It all comes down to money. Sadly. How much money do you have? How much money are you willing to spend? You want to have a gaming PC that will last you 15 years? Spend all the money in the world. Yeah, I should ride this one. Let's go to war. I still need to tame that motherfucker, though. Gives me such a hard time. Oh. Yeah, I was about to say, they don't have saddles and bridles that that can fit that horse. Yeah, look how big that motherfucker is. Oh, wait. He does come with his own bridle and saddle. I wonder if they had to specially make that shit. I'm almost out of coffee. Thing is, though, for people that don't have a lot of money, though, you're perfectly fine sticking with PS5s, Switch, and Xbox Series X. It's the cheaper option, to be honest. Because if you're trying to actually build a PC that's around $500, you can build a decent PC, but it's probably not going to run as good as like an actual PS5. Because here's the thing. Sony sells, Sony, Microsoft, all consoles are sold at a lost profit margin, but they gain their money back by selling games on those systems. That's how they've done it since the beginning of time. So that's why, like PS5s and Xboxes are always so, at least somewhat affordable. It's still an expensive fucking hobby. But however, they're, if they actually sold the PS5 at its intended internal value price, it would be a lot more expensive. So I don't deny what's in the PS5. Like, I'm always very impressed anytime I play a game on PS5. I was like, holy shit, this game looks fucking gorgeous. And it runs like a beaut. Like performance mode PS5 games, because I never play games on quality mode. I hate playing games at 30 frames per second. But even though this game will dip down to like 20 frames, it's like as I'm playing a game that like locks in at like 20 to 30 frames at times. It's kind of funny. Here, let's go on a trot. I'm not trying to go at full pace. It's a nice little trot. So I can like keep talking about PS5 stuff. No, you're going the wrong way. Hey, I'm like, here's me when it comes to games. I don't care what the graphic fidelity is. I think as long as the game is running well enough and it's not super buggy, I am 100% fine with the game. Because I'm not a graphics snob. I don't care about the graphics or anything like that as long as the game I'm playing is running well and it's fun. That's highest priority when it comes to it. If the game's not fun and it's not running well, because if the game's not running well, it affects the fun factor of that game. At least to me. I don't know about anyone else, but if a game's running at like 20 to 10 frames per second, it's kind of hard for me to have fun with that fucking game. Actually, I start to get motion sickness once the game starts hitting like 10 frames per second. It's like, oh god. Oh god. I can't look at it. So I'm always very surprised when it comes to Nintendo, and especially with the I see crabs. And I'm very low on crabs right now. But when it comes to Nintendo, some of their first party games are running at 60 frames per second, and it's because of their art style choice too. They don't try and make games like realistic looking and all that, which I appreciate a lot. I'm more of an art style guy than a let's make games as photorealistic as possible choice. I hate that choice. There are some games out there that look really fucking awesome, but I'd rather play games like this that has an artistic style than a realistic style. But yeah, I'm always very impressed when it comes to Nintendo having a really underpowered system, but still having their first party games run at least smoothly as they can, except for fucking, you know, what is it? Pokemon games. At least when they first came out. You know, Pokemon Scarlet and didn't run that well because it was buggy as fuck. Yeah, that's the thing too. Tears of the Kingdom doesn't run that smoothly. Well, unless you mod it. I think if you mod it, if you have a modded, like a physically modded, because I've seen people play this game running at 4K at 60 frames per, no, 120 frames per second. And it looks great. At least it's running really well. But it doesn't really change the overall look of the game. Alright, so which road am I going? South Road. Oh yeah. I needed to collect those crabs. I'm really low on crabs. Aren't those guys playing on emulations? They're either emulations, or two, they actually did physically alter their Switch system, which means they can't ever get it repaired or anything. Also, Nintendo frowns upon that. They hate those people. They hate those people that crack open their systems and modify it. So yeah, it's frowned upon, especially with Nintendo. It's like, hey, don't mess with our hardware, please. Yeah, I know there's a shrine up there, but I kind of refuse to do anything about that shrine for now. Oh, am I... Can I even go on a horse? I probably can't. Alright, Ganon's horse. I'll see you later. Oh, what's going on here? Mighty gunk, anyway. Huh. Wonder if there's anything I can do about that? Is this like the Splatoon we're at the like... Or not Splatoon, Mario Sunshine? Oh, yeah, speaking of Mario Sunshine, I'm gonna try something out. Holy shit! Hey, you saw that? I think I found a way to get through. Use the water. It's all about the water. Nope, shit. I think it's possible to mod, make it stronger. Yeah, it might be emulation, to be honest. I think I saw a video, though, of someone cracking open their Switch and actually replacing certain things. I'm not one of those people, so I can't really talk to them, you know, about it. Oh, let me kill that thing. Oh, I hit the rock. There we go. So I don't dabble in that stuff, and I haven't done emulations in forever. Well, I think the last time I tried emulating games on the PC was, about 3 or 4 years ago. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of emulating games. I'd rather actually own the damn thing. I'd rather own my games and play them if I can. Alright, I like how I did that, like, right in front of the guy. Or behind him. I hope he drops the tail. Please drop a tail. Damn it! I need their tails. I need their tails to upgrade my knight's armor. Not, well, is it soldier's armor? Soldier's armor. I need their tails to get that. Man, this path is all kinds of fucked up. Alright. What the fuck? Oh. Is that more... Man, what's the drop rate on freaking tails? So no, the only ones that tend to drop the tails are the green ones. But their drop rate for the tails are stupid. Starting to get a little flabbergasted. Oh, no, stop it! Get your foothold. Get fucked, Four Eyes. Yes! I need one more. Technically, after I get one more, I need 3 more afterwards, because I think there's another, there's another armor set that I need. Not another armor set, but another piece of the armor set to be upgraded. They're such a pain in the ass. So yeah, that stuff's falling out of the sky randomly. The hell? Ooh. Dodge that bullet. Sea rest. God, I always hated going to this. In Breath of the Wild, like, felt like such a long part. It's like trying to just get to their domain was a fucking struggle. There's so many enemies on the path, and it hasn't changed. It like looks like the amount of enemies in this area has not changed at all. I'm waiting for if we're gonna have any boulders while I'm trying to avoid the gunk. So there's a shrine nearby. Looks like it's... Wait, I hear boulder. Speaking of boulder. Ooh-wee. Urgh. The most coming out of the conversation, though, is like, are you just a fan of video games? It's all I ask people. And most of the times it's yes. Some people just tend to... Oh, hey, I like. Some people tend to ignore the question. Like, are you a fan of video games? If so, then it shouldn't matter. As long as you're enjoying the game. I was trying to shoot his head. Fucking poor goblins. Ooh, Zora shield. That's a really good fucking shield. I will fucking take that. What is this? What is up with this cave, man? I still have yet to figure out what to do with these fucking things. So there's gonna be someone in the world that wants them. I just don't know who I need to locate. Who the fuck do I talk to about those things? I don't know. I'm so confused about those items. Just checked your completed games thing and you've played a bunch of good games. Well, thank you. I try and play good games. I also try and play bad games, but they tend to not be like full playthroughs. Because those are all full playthroughs. Like, those are games I have played from beginning to end. So some of the more worse, like not so good games tend to not get on that list. I kind of wanted to do full playthroughs of like 1 out of 5s and 2 out of 5 games. But I can never, I can never just have the fortitude to play a game that bad from beginning to end. It's surprisingly difficult. No, it's not. It has the quick shot ability, but yeah. Says you played both Half-Life 2. TLOU. I'm trying to remember what the acronym was that for. What's the acronym for that again? I mean, not that. What's the acronym for? Last of Us? Oh yeah, The Last of Us. So, yeah, turns in Half-Life 2 is basically a good Half-Life ripoff. I wouldn't consider it a ripoff. No, because there's not enough similarities to it. Because one, The Last of Us is a third-person shooter survival, like it's a loose kind of. It's more of a third person shooter with elements of stealth and slight bits of horror. It's I forgot what the Naughty Dog kind of classifies The Last of Us, but I do have to say, when it comes to either Last of Us or Half-Life 2, my favorite out of those two is still Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is such a fucking masterpiece. It's kind of hard to compare a lot of games to Half-Life 2, but you would have to compare Half-Life 2 with other first-person shooters. I would not compare... personally, I would not compare Half-Life 2 with Last of Us, because they're two completely different games, gameplay-wise and all that. Now, if it was a first-person shooter and it didn't have that many other elements except for, you know, being a first-person shooter with physics-based puzzles and stuff like that, then I might compare it.